All right, we are live. Hey guys, this is the Ask Me Anything segment. I do this roughly once a week. I've been pretty good about it recently, starting like right on time, and I'm excited. I haven't streamed in days now. It's been since Friday, which it's weird to say that that's a long time. It used to be I would do it once a week, and now here I am. I do want to share with everybody that this is the best time in the history of True Poker Dealer. It's really cool right now to be doing all these free live lessons. It's been rewarding for me in the sense of like helping people. It's been rewarding for me in the sense of completing this thing that I wanted to complete for a very long time. And now I have all the tools to do it. And everything about this has been awesome so far, and I've super appreciated everybody's support and love and appreciation. It's been great. Right now is also the best time ever that it's ever going to be in the future as well to purchase a $4.99 membership, because even right now I have still left all of the lessons in the $4.99 per month membership section. They're not going to be there for that much longer. Every lesson that I do, I only guarantee that I leave it in that section for 1 week. But what I've decided to do is, once I finish the last lesson, which I have the schedule for all the rest of the lessons up now, okay? The last lesson for these live lessons for Texas Hold'em is Monday of this coming week. So I've got lessons scheduled today. The limit Texas Hold'em lesson is today at 4. Then tomorrow I have a lesson, Thursday I have a lesson, Saturday I have a lesson, and Monday I have a lesson. And that's all the lessons for the information for you guys for how to deal poker. So after Monday, I will wait 1 week and everything will stay in the $4.99 per month membership group. And then the entire course that's completed at that point will make its way into the permanent home. So I feel really good about that, and I really enjoyed the love and participation and everything from everyone. Let me see something over here. You know, YouTube's been doing this thing for the last like 2 weeks where I can't actually see how many people are watching unless I log in and look myself, which it's fine, you know. I can't expect them to be perfect, but it is weird because it worked for a really long time leading up to now. As always, I do want to remind everybody, ask your questions. I will answer anything on anything on anything. My iPad was upside down mode. So let's see. I'm just going to see. I'll open this up so I can see how many people are watching myself. That always helps me understand. But yeah, the more questions that you guys ask me, the easier this is for me too, so that I don't have to just come up with stuff to say. But I will start by sharing it. Actually, you know what? First, I want to see how many people are watching. That's what I want to do right now. Oh, it shows an ad before this sometimes. Let's see. 3 people are watching now. All right, cool. So we'll let this build up over time. No problem at all. I'm gonna mute it. Excellent. Actually, I'm gonna close it because sometimes my internet's not perfect. So here's what I am going to say. I have been talking to people in the poker industry. I have been talking to people that work as dealers and supervisors. I did reach out to the poker director at Tampa. Tampa's opened up now, the Hard Rock in Tampa, owned by Seminoles, a company I used to work for. The director there is the director that I used to work for. His name's Pablo. He's a good guy. And I reached out to him and I was asking him about the gloves that they wear, because I want to do a video where I teach the differences between dealing mechanics with and without gloves. I'm pretty excited to do that actually, but I got to get my hands on some. But he said they just use standard white latex gloves there, which was interesting. And from what I understand, the dealers are allowed to bring their own gloves and mask, but they have to wear gloves and mask. Now, this is the first time I've actually heard that the dealers have to wear gloves when dealing. I do believe that there are other poker rooms that do not require that. That said, I mean, it's a different world now, right? Like, I almost feel like the entire world looks at human interaction as like you have to put a condom on before you can interact with anybody. Like, I mean, the similarity there to protecting yourself from catching something, it seems very real for me. My apologies if the metaphor was too like hardcore, but I still believe that the thing that I said is accurate. Like, people now think about protecting their whole self. We don't want to get anything. And I mean, seeing the pictures and the videos of what people are going through to play poker is crazy. That said, I have a friend that's a dealer up in Tampa, okay? I believe that what I'm about to tell you is a sign of things to come. Okay, I've been saying it for a while now. I really think that we're about to see more hiring in the poker dealing world than we've ever seen before. And you know, I do work with different dealers in different ways, and one of them told me that they can't work with me for the foreseeable future. They're too busy. They've been asked to deal 6 days a week right now. And to me, that's a pretty powerful statement, right? Like, they weren't expecting to even be one of the first waves of people that was called back, but they are busy at their poker room. And you know, when I kind of dive into why that is, I personally think about it in terms of, well, dealers are needed because all right, poker players have their habits, all right, and it is what it is. Like, people who go to casinos because they want to be there, and those habits are really strong. Let me say it that way. So what I'm observing is people are going to play poker. Like, they're going there and they're playing consistently. I think it's interesting too. Like, there's not. I've been told that dealing with gloves is not terrible. I've been told that it's doable. I've been told that dealing with a mask is not terrible. It's doable. You know, and they've got their huge plexiglass thing in some of these rooms now, where it's six-handed and they're separating people by this enormous plexiglass with just a little bit of area to reach your hands in to touch your chips and stuff. But that's been pretty interesting. But someone get me started with some questions. Like, don't make myself jump in the chat and ask myself some questions. I'll do it. I do realize, though, that I kind of put this up last minute, and my apologies for that. I had said that I was going to put the schedule up earlier, but I did not. Let me see, though. I want to be like super clear with everybody what the upcoming calendar looks like. So let me pull that up. It's not going to work if the thing that I'm doing is spelling it wrong. So it's quiet out there today, huh? Let's see. All right. So just to go over the schedule with anybody that wants to hear it. Today, 4 p.m., lesson number 14, limit poker. All right. So I'm going over all the stuff that applies to limit Texas Hold'em that I haven't covered yet. Lesson number 15 is tomorrow. That's at 12 p.m. Eastern time. That is tournament poker concepts. So there's just a ton of stuff that applies to tournaments specifically that I really haven't covered in detail. So I have to start doing that just to make sure that it's complete in that sense. Then Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Actually, you know what? Nobody's here yet. Let me answer this. No, I can't do that. I can't. That's my attorney and my friend. So that would be wrong of me to put him on blast like this if he has something sensitive to talk about. Let's see. Oh yeah, so lesson 16 on Thursday, I go over all the rest of the stuff that's in the procedure manual that I hadn't covered yet. I've already prepped that one, feeling that's going to be a pretty good one. Like, there's a lot of little details that are interesting to know about that I haven't actually gotten to cover yet. And so I will say that I would honestly say, if you've watched almost all the lessons to this point, I would say that that's a bit of a must watch. Lesson number 17. This one's just for the people at home who run home games. Lesson 17 is how to run a poker tournament. I'm going to do this from the casino perspective. So anybody that is a supervisor might be interested in this, but this is also meant to help people who try to do home games be able to run a poker tournament with a little bit more know-how and experience. And yeah, I want people to get that, right? So that when they invite people over, they can feel good about it. I personally am excited for that lesson. And then the very last lesson that I'm going to do is along those same lines, lesson number 18, home game help. So for those that do run home games, this is going to be on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. For those that do run home games, this is for you, Monday at 12 o'clock. I will be going through, it's like some of this stuff has to be supervisor stuff that I didn't go over in the dealing course, because when you run a home game, you need to know this stuff. That's going to be good. But do want to remind you guys that this is the time for you guys to ask me anything. I totally get that people are going back to work now and are a bit busier. I totally get that that today could be a slow day. I still want to be here for you guys. Anything that you guys want to know and girls want to know about, I always say this. I say this and nobody really takes me up on it, but these sessions are to ask me anything. It does not just have to be about poker. Obviously, poker is what I mostly get asked about, which is totally fine. Let's see here. Curious who's out there too. If anyone wants to say hi, I will say hi and thank you for saying hi. But let's see. You know what? I'm going to start in the chat. That's what I'll do. Say something. Hey everyone. Let's ask some silly questions to get us started. I definitely do a lot better in these types of conversations when there's stuff being asked, because then it like leads to stories and all that stuff. But I suppose I can try to talk about whatever. Well, no, the thing I'll say now is, as soon as Monday's done, so I want you guys that are watching to know what my plan is, right? That'll help hold me to it a little bit too. But as soon as Monday's done and the course is done, my focus is going to be taking a lot of the content that I have that you guys have never seen. I have so many videos in so many different ways, and finally getting those things edited and on the regular YouTube channel. Now, none of those videos are the types of things where you can like truly learn how to deal poker in the way that the course can. So the course has a ton of value, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff. Some of it is from the paid membership group where I can chop up pieces of it. All of it is going to point people toward the membership course, so I'm excited about that too. And I feel pretty good about it. But let's see. Yeah, it's a totally different world right now with everything going on. Man, you guys are kind of breaking my heart right now. Not a single question. This is very different for me. I have not received this yet. Maybe I don't look like me. I can write Mark on my forehead. It's all good. So let's see. I guess if it's not a lesson, it's not as fun, right? Well, maybe I can teach something now. What can I teach? What can I teach that would be fun? All right, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to look up online floor decisions and stuff like that, and whatever pops up, I'm just going to speak about it. So let's do it. Poker floor rulings. So I'm going to get pretty complicated here. So the first one I'm clicking on is Red Chip Poker Forum. It says call or all in. It says it's heads up at the river. Player A bets, player B raises. Player A tosses in a chip and says, and it has XXXXX in quotes. Okay. Player B turns over his cards as soon as he hears player A. Player A stops the table right away and says, I said all in. Player A is a reg, not an angle shooter. He is Asian and speaks in a soft voice. Two other players on that end of the table say, I heard him say all in too. Ooh, this is juicy right now. Player B, also a reg, who doesn't angle shoot, says, I thought he said call. Now, for the record, reg means someone that plays there regularly. And there is a certain understanding that, like, over time, having a regular in the room, the floor has definitely had interactions with them. The dealers have had interactions. So there's actually a baseline for the person's integrity, stuff like that. Now, as a person that works in poker, you don't want to take that to mean too much, but it's certainly not nothing, right? So there is value in explaining that. I'm just giving the perspective of the person who's saying this. So the dealer says, I thought you said call too. Player A says that player B turned his cards over so quickly that there was never an opportunity for him to clarify, and the dealer never asked for a clarification. Essential given that everyone else except for player B said what they heard all in. Floor was called. So what is the ruling? All in or call? So the first thing about this that's interesting, it is a bit more complicated than some of the stuff I normally do, but the first thing about this that's interesting, so it goes player A bets, player B raises. This is heads up at the river. A bets, B raises. Okay? So we'll go like this. Player A bets. Actually, I've got a table with chips in front of me. Let's actually put some stuff over here. So we'll go like this. This will be player A right here. They have all these chips. And this will be player B right here. And where are the cards over there? Alright. So these players both have cards. And let's say buttons. Well, the button's over here. And there's a pot. Right. And there's, we gotta do a flop, turn, and river, right? So flop, turn, river. Alright. So player A right here. You know what? Let's go like this. Make it a little juicier. Player A bets, we'll say 125. Alright. Player B raises to, let's do this. We'll give each player 200 in black as well. Alright, player B raises to 300. And player A goes like this, throws a chip and says all in. And this player exposes their hand. So as a supervisor, when I come to the table and I see this, the thing that I'm going to be thinking about is, well, oh, and then this player immediately flips their cards over. The thing I'm going to be thinking about is, well, what is affected here? So first of all, we go through the whole conversation. We find out that this player said all in, but it was not clear, which is on this player, okay? As a player at the table, you have to be clear. As a dealer, if you think that you hear a word I mean, if it doesn't occur to you that it might not be the thing you think, like in this case, the dealer said that they heard call. All in does sound like call if you say it quietly. All in, like that. So it could totally be mistaken as call. But think about the consequence here in this situation. So this player definitely calls. By the way, just so you know, when a player throws a chip forward like this in this situation like this, that's a call. Absolutely. Shadu says, "Good day to you, sir. Hope you're doing well." Thank you. I am doing quite well today, and I hope that you're doing well as well. So in this case, it's good to see you, by the way, and I appreciate. Listen, that was the first comment. I was begging for a comment so I could talk about something. I want to say huge thank you for typing something in the chat. I was actually concerned that people couldn't type because I have run into that where the chat just doesn't work. And when that happens, I ask anybody that's watching, if you try to chat and you can't, exit and then come back. Also, today is kind of a brutal day for me. My air conditioning is not working. I've got a fan going on top, and I am hot in here, but that's cool. I'm here for everybody. I'm going to do this. So, this player exposes their hand. So in poker, it is considered a call when a player throws one chip forward, just so you guys know. That being said, X Vegeta Pride says, "Hello, bro." Hello. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. Like, sincerely appreciate that too. Thank you guys. So when a player throws a chip in when they're faced with a raise, that in most poker rooms does commit them to the call. Okay. Even if you're in a room that has the rules that the TDA use, the TDA says heads up. If you put a chip in, you're always calling. Because there's only two players in the hand, so you can only be doing what that other player would be doing, right? But when a player says all in, the fact that they throw a chip in doesn't matter. If they say all in and throw a chip in at the same time, then the player should be all in, right? This is a super wordy way of getting to my point. So this player, if I come to the table and I hold them to the all in, it actually doesn't affect anything negatively, right? Like really, this player's hand is face up, but they're the one that would have to make the decision. If this were the other way around and this player had shown their hand and you're deciding whether or not to make them all in, you're putting this player in a situation where if you count this as an all in, this player has the ability to know what their hand is and make a decision for the rest of their money. But that's not the case. This player doesn't know what their hand is. So there's no breach in integrity. There should be no issue here at all with this hypothetical. This player should have, if they only said all in and there isn't any substantial action at that point, getting good cards is a pain sometimes. Totally agree. When they're second best, right? So this player right here, if the ruling is that they said all in and therefore they are all in, which would probably be the case given that it was brought up immediately when the player did something other than consider calling the bet. In that case, this player just gets to make a decision. Like, it's pretty straightforward here. It doesn't actually matter the way that this went down. It doesn't affect anything. So in this particular case, even though the dealer heard call and the player heard call, this player did say all in. You got confirmation from two people next to them. There wasn't substantial action. So we need to correct the action to the thing that happened in reality now. It is something that this player should learn the hard way sometimes, or they're going to learn the hard way sometimes, that when you say something quietly, you run the risk of not being understood, and therefore you don't necessarily get the thing that you tried to do, right? This player here, when they said all in and they threw one chip, they created a conflicting action into the pot. Throwing one chip does not mean all in, right? So that is something that they made a mistake in, and they put themselves at risk. If they had said all in and pushed one chip forward at the same time, and pushed their whole stack forward at the same time, it would have been totally clear. But because they did verbally say all in, even though it was quiet, other people could hear it, and it doesn't actually affect this player. This player now has an advantage by exposing their hand, which you're generally not supposed to do. So it's actually an advantage to this player to have all this stuff happen. They should be held to their all in. However, different rooms will rule differently. Daniel says, what brand of playing cards do you prefer? I appreciate that question, and if I can find the Ace of Spades here, I can show you that these are, in fact, Copags. So I really enjoy using Copags. I do somewhere have a link that's an affiliate link where I make like 50 cents when someone buys it. But I really do enjoy using Copags. They're plastic. When you buy, you can get them on Amazon for what's called a setup, which is 2 decks of different colored backs for $16. They last really well. The coating's really good. There's plenty of other good ones too, though. But if you are gonna buy the thing that I recommend, I always recommend Copags. I've had a great experience with them. Let's see. XX Vegeta says, if a player has more chips than the other player and he goes for all in, what about the other? Does he also goes for all in or might fold? Right. So in this case right here, when this player, say this player's all in because they tried to go all in, right? This total bet amount, here, I'll just count it out so that we're clear here. So in this case right here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 695 is how it works. All right. So in this case, it's 695. This player is only in for 300. So by them being in for 300, if they want to continue in the hand, they would have to put in the remaining money that they have. And because they don't have enough to cover it, that's 500, 600, 665. They would only be able to win an equal amount from this other player. Daniel says, okay, thank you. I like Copag also, but I don't like the Jumbo Index. I understand what you're saying there. Let's see. So these, if you look at this, these are also Copags. These are the poker size cards, and because they made the cards bigger, they made the print smaller on them. So if you get the larger Copags, you might be able to get the smaller print, but I do recommend that you find out which ones you're getting. I actually grew up using bridge size cards as a poker player at Foxwoods, where they looked like this and they were smaller, and I did definitely enjoy being able to just separate them the slightest bit like this and see what the cards are instead of having to pull it like way out. But I totally get what you're saying, and I can relate to it. Let's see. David says, if you're familiar with Jeff Bosky in his video and goes all in, he usually holds one chip above the felt until the dealer acknowledges his all in and then puts the chip down. But he does wait to put anything in until the dealer knows what he's doing. So that's a really good point. Now, I mentioned with this player when they set all in that they put themselves at risk to not get the action acknowledged by the casino. That's totally on them. However, when the supervisor comes to the table in this exact situation that I read on Red Chip Forum, there is a need for the person in the casino to try to do the thing that is the right thing. So, like if a player, despite the fact that a player wasn't careful or clear, if they did try to make an action in good intention and other people can confirm it, the supervisor does have the job to do their best to make it so that that's what actually happens. Raven says, I think that's a kitty in a box, and says, hey Mark, good to see you again, and then dab, hey everyone. And another type of kitty in a box. I gotta ask you, are these emojis built into YouTube? Is this, maybe I should start checking these out. Let's see, custom emojis. Well, I click it and nothing happens. Wait, custom emojis. Oh, there's a lot of them. All right, so I can do kitty in a box too, and then I can hit send. All right. Why is it going so slow? Yeah, I sent a kitty in a box. Online casinos are evil, man. Uh, I mean, online casinos are money-making machines. Evil. If you're gonna say online casinos are evil, I feel like you should also say all casinos are evil. I think that there's you put two kitties in two boxes. Very good. That's we're getting more people to do this. Yeah, they're the free emojis, is what Raven says. Which you've been using these consistently for weeks. It's very funny. I totally understand the feeling that online casinos are evil. I got recruited for a project years ago that never ended up happening. I was sad that it never happened because these were good people that were trying to create it. But the project was to have online dealers, or to have online poker, but with actual dealers in a room dealing actual hands out with cameras so that everyone could see what cards are dealt out, and there would be no players at the table. It would just be regular online poker, except this way it would maintain the integrity of it, so you could see the dealer shuffle, you could see the dealer distribute the cards out, etc. And I feel like there's a chance that what XX Vegeta is saying is that online casinos don't always play fair, right? I can't speak to this at all. I totally understand that people feel like online poker is rigged, which is why that particular business that did not succeed was trying to do that. But that being said, I feel like most of them are legit because there's so many hand readers that keep track of all that stuff. So it's if somebody's out there cheating, they're doing a great job because they also have to factor in these things like Poker Tracker that are recording everything and evaluating it to see if it's fair. XX Vegeta says, will you make live stream for online casinos? I feel like I can't. And the reason I feel like I can't is I've noticed that YouTube seems to crack down on anything related to online gaming where there's gambling associated with it. So if I were to even use a tool like Poker Tracker has, I don't know how many of you have seen Poker Tracker. It's a poker playing tool. I haven't used it in 10 years, but I know people still use it. Like, if I were to even use their hand replay tool just to talk about hands in general, having the video game look on the screen during this video would get me flagged and make it so that I might get strikes against my channel. It's not worth it. I do totally appreciate your request for that, but I'm terrified of doing anything that violates YouTube's policies or gets their attention in a way that I feel like I could get myself in trouble. So, and I mean, I tell you that, like, I have good friends who have had their content removed from YouTube that they've had up for a long time because of this. So, I want to stay on YouTube's good side is the thing I'm trying to say. Absolutely important to me. But as you guys are saying, like, virtual poker room would be cool. I totally agree with that. I love the idea of something like that, but I don't think that it's a safe place for me to explore. Let's see. I got a message from my mom. Oh, she just said thank you. Today is my mom's birthday, so I wanted to make sure to read that. Happy birthday, Mom, if you're watching. I don't think she's ever watched this, but she's stealthy. She could totally be watching. As some of you guys know, when I was doing a lesson, my 8-year-old son came on and started chatting in the chat last week. That was funny. Raven says, in blackjack, you can't get an advantage online since with counting you don't know anything about the shuffle process or the penetration depth, so they can easily screw you over. So I totally agree with the first part of that in blackjack you can't beat the system by counting cards. I disagree with the second part of it where they can, quote, easily screw you over, because the casino mentality is that you're never supposed to have an advantage. The casino is supposed to have an advantage. So if you're saying that they can easily screw you over, I think a better thing to say would be that the house always has an advantage, and they are always screwing everybody over in online and live casino table games. Like, if you're going to take that stance, I would take it even further and say all table games, has that that quality to it. Vegeta says, yes, sir, I respect that. Appreciate your content is good. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Shadu says, God bless her, sir. My mom. Oh, thank you. It's really kind. Yes. Again, happy birthday, my mom. I don't remember if she's ever watched this. I do think there's a chance she's probably found it and not told me that she was watching. And I mean, yeah, but yeah, happy birthday to my mom for sure. Let's see. Raven says, just scream fair use like all other flagrant copyright violators. Listen, that is a really funny shade throwing point. That's like, it's bordering way further toward truth than shade, but that is what people do, right? They just yell, hey, fair use, you know? But I promise you, from what I've heard, in order to get YouTube to undo something, it takes a whole lot of effort, and it's really challenging, and I don't want to go through that. Also, I don't really feel the need, right? I have a lot of stuff I can do all the time on YouTube. I don't really feel the need to do anything that does involve like video game look or feel, because it does violate their policy. I might as well just stay inside the box of what it is that I'm doing. But that was very funny too. Shani says, and God bless the sun too. And sorry for spamming, did that a lot in the past videos. Good, I appreciate your comments a lot. Vegeta says, Raventoe, there is no advantage for online casinos with blackjack. I have seen them shuffle like crazy, so I feel bad for the card counters. And then he's tripling up the number of cats in boxes. Well, so I don't know if you're referring to this or not, Vegeta, but there are online casinos that have live dealers. So the thing I was just talking about for poker is and has been is being done and has been done for a while now for table games, where it's an actual dealer and they're dealing to you, you know. And then there's a lot of people that play the hand the same way, and so I think they wait for everyone to act or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's got to be kind of cool. And plus, from what I've seen, like, they have pretty girls doing it and all that stuff. By the way, I do want to apologize for anyone out there who wishes I was a pretty girl instead of me. I do understand that in casinos, some people consider that to be more fun, but here I am as myself always. Is what it is. For those that don't know, though, I mean, the difference in tips that a pretty girl gets compared to a person who looks like me is tremendous. If you do ever become a dealer, or if you are a dealer, I suggest that you don't tip out at the same time as a pretty girl, because you might feel bad about yourself. The money that they can take home just by understanding how to take advantage of that without crossing the line is amazing. You know, I can think of a few off the top of my head that will make double what anyone else makes at least in a given shift, just because they know how to play to that. And you know, I have never figured out how to do it myself, right? So there's that. I'm curious how many people are watching now. Pretty girls don't matter to people when they lose money. All they say is talk bad. I have seen some highlights. So I'm going to say that's true and not true. There are plenty of poker players. Now, if you're talking table games can be different, right? But if you're talking about poker, there's plenty of poker players who lose when a pretty girl's dealing, and they feel differently about their experience. I have seen casinos, poker rooms specifically, that have gone way out of their way to hire pretty girls because of that. Bet they go all in. Shadu says, bet they go all in and be like, no, my lady, that is your tip. I have seen ridiculous tips go to pretty girls as well, and there is, I mean, it's a culture thing, and it goes across many different cultures of many different types where you see this type of thing. It's interesting, right? There's no denying that we don't live in a fair world in many ways. However, for those that say it's unfair if a pretty girl gets tipped more, I do want to just mention that pretty girls, and by pretty girl, I actually just mean any woman dealer who puts the effort in with like makeup and interactions with the guests and stuff like that. The thing that I notice is they have to deal with a lot more crap from the players too. People trying to get their numbers, people getting in their business. Like, there is a heavy price to being that person as well. It's not all just... It's not all just like the positives that come with that. Like, there's a lot that they have to deal with, and in some cases, I think to myself when I see players trying to ask them out and all that stuff, like, I could never deal with that. Let's see. Vegeta says, "How about some blackjack? I full of it." Well, okay. Look, if the thing that I'm being asked for is some blackjack, I can give you some blackjack. So I'm going to let you say what you want to do. So I'm going to give you Vegeta. I'm going to give you $100 in red to start. All right. So here's your 100, and you can play one or two hands. $5 minimum. If you play two hands, you got to play 10 per hand. How much are you betting? And I will deal you some blackjack. Why not, right? This is not real money, just in case anyone's wondering that. This is for fun, okay? So you tell me how much you bet, Vegeta. Let's see. Shadu, sir, concerning the tip, how can the house be sure that the dealer did not steal some chips, specifically in blackjack? Do they like keep them in a special zone? Yes. So there's a tip box and there's procedure associated with the tip. So when someone gives a tip, you have to take it, tap it twice on the upright corner of the rack, and then you put it in a tip box. And at the end of the day, only the chips that are in the tip box get tipped out for the person. And in blackjack, a lot of the time the tip box, $10 bet, let's go. All right, in blackjack, a lot of the time the tip box is shared, like the tips are shared between all dealers. So in those cases, there's a lot less incentive for them to do that. So starting out, you got 16 against a 7. What you doing? I did deal blackjack for about a year and a half. Let's see. Yeah. So and then in poker, like, listen, there are definitely poker dealers over time who have made it so that they've stolen tips in different settings, but there's so much camera coverage that once anyone is suspicious of anything, it all gets reviewed in super high detail. So there's not a lot you can do to hide it. Like, it is what it is. Vegeta, waiting for you to say hit or stay. Stay. All right, that's a stay. Dealer has 11 and in the tray. Here, I'm gonna put this in the tray too, so that I can hopefully use it to pay ya. All right. Now you got to say how much you bet. On to the next hand. And I got to get my other cut card here. Where is it? There it is. I got to get this cut card in here so I don't run out. So let's see, what else we say. Daniel says, when do you want to upload the videos about bank maintenance? I do have those videos uploaded. The way to access them nowadays is to get the $4.99 per month membership. So in order to get a membership for True Poker Dealer, you have to be on a computer. And when you're on a computer and you access True Poker Dealer, there's a join button under any of my videos or in the channel. And then you can just purchase a membership there and you'll get access to the bank maintenance videos. I have a lot of content in there in order to see that stuff. So $10 bet again. All right. So here we go. And blackjack, unfortunately. And how much would you like to bet now? Let's see. Shadu, did that answer you about the tips? Like, the tip box usually rests right here. It has a small slit in it and it's locked. So the tip box is locked, and in order to get the key to unlock it, you have to go to the cashier area. and that you can only unlock it in the back of the house where there's a special cashier generally that helps you tip out. Or if the regular cashier does it, there's still a key there. Let's see. Raven says, yeah, true. They probably don't even need to be pretty, just semi-good looking and somewhat friendly. But Jesus says $10 bet and he's unhappy. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you have enough time with the players to be able to create that relationship with them. And I mean, this is why like I could get tipped pretty well as a dealer, because I was able to be kind of friendly and savvy and likable and good at my job and give people shit. Like, I'm telling you guys, when you become a dealer, if you can give people shit without ever crossing the line and getting in trouble for it, meaning like I'm not trying to do things that are bad, I'm trying to create camaraderie with people by doing that. If you can do that, they will tip you for sure. When they think that you're likable, they want to be seen as respected by you. It's a really powerful tool. So there are plenty of ways for non-pretty women to get that too. But honestly, women in general, like they do get tipped more, period. Let's see. Vegeta, oh my lord, no tip for the dealer. Vegeta, waiting for your action, sir. This is a very loose game, by the way, so if you wanted to double on a soft 15, you can. I don't care. Well, you said $10 bet, so I put a $20. Are you saying $20 bet, let's go, sir? Does that mean double? Are you asking for one card on a double? I just need you to clarify that there. And then Shadu says, yes, sir. Thank you kindly. David says, could you go over possible scenarios for dealer interview, how that can go? Well, you know, first of all, I super appreciate that comment. And now that you've said that, I'm going to put this down for a second. I want to write myself a note for the course. I want to include the interview in what I teach in the course. So huge thank you to you for that question. That is going to help me because now, you know, I've got this stuff slated for the rest of the week, and now I can make sure to fit that in with what I've got slated. So where do I put that? What day should that be? Well, you're not going to stay on a soft 15. I can't even let you stay on a soft 15 against a 6. 10 was the previous. This one was supposed to be 20. All right, you know what? 20 it is. Let me see. So I want to put this in here, though. This is very appreciated. Items that I don't cover from the procedure manual. Tournament poker concepts. Let me see. Where did I put this? All right, I'm just going to have this be the interview. The interview. I just want to make sure I cover that. Because the interview... All right, so now let me answer your question here a little bit. So I want to preface this by saying I haven't thought this through enough, but I have plenty of experience with it. You know what? He said stay, so I'm just going to let him say. So we got 11 and 19. So I'm taking it. And if you tell me that that's unfair, I'll give you the money back. It's like this game doesn't matter, right? I'm not trying to be a stickler. But I'll wait for you to tell me how much you're betting this time. Let's see. So for a dealer interview, different places do the interview in different ways. Let's see. Let me see. They do it in different ways. When they're interviewing you, they're usually seeing if you fit their culture. They're usually seeing if they like you, if you seem like you have integrity. They also kind of evaluate you to tell whether you're going to be a problem. There's like so much negative conversation in the break room because dealers have to vent. And so if they ask you something like, what was your last job like? Some of it is they want to hear like how you talk, but they're also listening most of the time to find out whether or not you're going to speak badly about the place that you worked at last. So you want to make sure that you don't fall in any of those landmines. In the interview, try to be authentic. and try to remember what you're trying to do. You're trying to be likable by them, but you want to do it in a believable way. So I don't think that many interviews are going to have a written quiz for dealing, but some places might do that. I haven't seen it much myself. There's also a way to do interviews where like you do a group audition where you have like 6 to 10 people come in. The people who are not dealing and being auditioned are playing so that the person can actually do an audition and deal. And in those cases, a lot of the time you're being interviewed while you're at the table as much as during the actual interview. Sometimes the actual interview is a decoy and the real interview is just to see what you're like at the table. And I'm kind of giving away some of these tips and tricks, but I think that it's worth keeping all that stuff in mind. So what do you want? You want to make sure that you understand. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of the stuff that I cover in the course. Wait. Oh, I was not able to see clearly. I thought it was 2 aces. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That does make sense. Either way, how much are you betting for the next one? Let's see. But yeah, in the interview, you really want to be focused on. I'm trying to think. If I were interviewing, I would want to be focused on understanding that like you take the job serious. It's people's money at stake. It's not about my ego. It's about what's right for the poker room. You know, I'm there to create positive relationships with the people that work there and the guests. I'm there to do my job well. And then if they start asking you stuff from previous jobs, I don't know. I haven't interviewed many people in terms of it because all of my interviews have been while people are poker players at the table. When you're playing poker at the table, get along with other people. Don't be aggressive and confrontational. Be pleasant. Have integrity. It's really important there too. Don't try to make the dealer look bad that's in the box. Don't try to make other people look bad. All those things are super important in my opinion. All right, now I'm going to scan this real quick. All right, $10 bet. Let's go. And, all right. So, Vegeta, are you going to stay or are you going to hit or split or whatever? What you doing? Let's see. So, let me see. I just want to make sure I don't miss any comments. So, when one splits, they cannot double down. That depends on the casino. In my casino, it's loose. It's whatever you want. Where's the dealer's down card? Underneath. Under the up card, maybe. Yep. Double down. Come on, you double down there. Vegeta says you lost me. Sorry. Ace 4 versus 6 is double down. Yeah, a lot of single deck won't allow that, but I don't care because it's fun. Looks like a quarantine game and Mr. Mark will be waiting for the next action. Yes, basic strategy. Oh, I was not able to see clearly. I thought it was 2 aces. Next bet, Vegeta. Dealer is a big deal, a good profession. Yes. Says stay, never split tens. That's right! Uh-oh, 10, 13, too many. Hey, you finally won. All right, there you go. How much is your next bet, sir? Let's see. Yeah, it's interesting. Curious if you feel like that answered the question about the interview the way that you want. Do you have an interview coming up? David. That was David that asked. And you know, I said this at the beginning of this live stream, and I'll say it again. It is my belief that there is going to be more hiring in poker than we've ever seen before. And I mean, when casinos do that, and there's not enough dealers to, there's not enough. You said 10. There's not enough dealers to like fill it. I gotta say that you're gonna get a job if you know enough about it. Like if you purchase my course and you practice a little bit, man, you're gonna be in great shape when they do all this hiring. And why are they doing hiring? Because they're playing shorthanded poker and people still want to play. They cannot stop them from wanting to play. Just things to consider for the future, I suppose. Totally fine. Totally fine. But I was curious because it's like, ooh, does someone have an interview? Like, where are they hiring? Blah, 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 blah. Which is stuff that I feel like I would want to know. By the way, after I get to the cut card here, I'll keep going with Vegeta till I get to the cut card. After I get to the cut card, I would like to deal poker myself against someone over here. Does anyone want to be the first person for us to play poker against each other for a little bit? Raven says double down. You know what? I get it. All right. I'll give you one card. That's a good one. And now we see here 17. Look at that. You just won. And now, after being down and feeling so sad and painful, you are at $90. So you're back to almost even. So let's see. Yeah, who wants to be the one after this to play me heads up in Texas Hold'em, no limit? We would play with Daniel once. All right, Daniel, you'll be it. That sounds kind of fun. Let's see. And Daniel, you'll be able to get insight from everyone else. Raven, you got next, okay? So we'll make it so that you guys can both do it. But Daniel, you're gonna go first. All right. 20 for the bet. All right. Remember, I'm gonna stop when we run out here. Okay. So you're going for 20. You want to win. 7 against. You're up. What are you doing with 7? Let's see. What you gonna do? Raven says shuffle up and deal me. It's going to be Daniel first, but I will do Raven second. Shadu says, do they hire international dealers there, sir? Meaning those who want to go for an audition might get the green card for this, and thank you kindly for answering every question. Very much obliged. The answer is yes. I will say I don't really know how it works with a casino to be able to hire someone that's not a citizen. I have very little insight into that. 17. It said hit. You have 17. Raven saying hit, but I am still leaving the decision making to Vegeta. Vegeta, what do I do next? And keep in mind, guys, this is on like a 15 to 20 second delay, so it's a bit slow. We got to deal with that. Let's see. I will say this though: if somebody wanted to get a $4.99 membership, I could have them email me and I could give them my phone number and 20. And I could do a FaceTime version of this, which would be in real time, which would be funny. How much you betting now? You've got $70 remaining. But that being said, yeah, there's a ton of dealers from all over the place in different casinos, but I don't really know. I mean, if you could get a green card to work, I think you'd be fine. If as long as you have the legal ability to be in the U.S. and work there, it's fine. People have asked me about like an H1N, I think it's called, or an H1B or something like that, and I haven't ever heard of a casino that's willing to put up the money for that for a dealer because there's so much turnover in casinos. But listen, casinos are about to get desperate, so it is what it is. How would you rate your dealing, Shadu? How do you feel about it? 20 again for the bet, all right? Or for the best. I think that means bet. Ooh, king to start against a queen. 17. What do you say? 17, it is not a blackjack. I'm so curious what you're going to decide. I actually think I know. I know what the book says here. Most people in this situation would stay. However, not everybody, but the blackjack book, right? Quote unquote. Blackjack's a punishing game too. Like, the player having to act first, that's the house edge in a nutshell. It can be tough. Oh, something interesting about poker. I've been hearing that it seems like, I had a guest poker supervisor, 8 years in the industry who I've worked with in the past come on for the calling the floor lesson last week. And so he said, someone said can't do it. David said can't do anything but stay. He says stay. Unfortunately, is a face card, which I could see when I peeked. How much you betting now? You got 50 left, and it looks like this will be the last or the second to last hand. But what was I gonna say? What was Mike saying? He was saying something. He was saying that the industry, because of the masks making it harder to hear, the poker world seems to possibly be going to hand signals instead of verbal. So bet, maybe you make like a bet motion. I don't know what the hand signal would be, but no surrender, take it. Yeah, surrender is a legit play in that case. Not with a 7, maybe with a 16. But yeah, let's see. Vegeta, what you doing? How much you betting? I must know. All in, need your luck here. All right, $50. Come on. 3, 5, 9 against a 5. All right, we'll see what we're doing. If you have any more money on you, I can get you another 50. You know, I've got it here. Maybe you can borrow it from a friend or something. Again, this is all pretend money, so I'm making that stuff up. But nonetheless, within the seriousness of this, if you did want to double, I have $50 to you. But then you'd be losing more if you lose, right? So, yeah, the dealer in time will face a lot of problems. Yeah. Poker is probably going to go to hand signals in some respect. Now, if they don't, I don't know. I did mean to ask that. He says hit it. Oh, here we got the cut card. You got 11 now. Now what would you like to do? Double down is what Raven says. Most casinos will not let you do that in blackjack, but they will let you do that in Spanish 21. This casino doesn't care. So you say he can't because he doesn't have the money, but I am willing to give him the money if he wanted to double down here. But I also know that could be a very uncomfortable thing for him to decide to do, and he does have the spotlight on him here, so it sort of is what it is, you know. Hit again. Here we go. 14. Whew. That can be tough. Luis says, hi Mark. Hi, what's going on? It could be Louis also. I don't know. I have a friend who works in the industry who he goes by Luis, and if you call him Louis, he does not like it. And so now I have this, like, whenever I see the name and I don't know how to pronounce it, even though Louis is way more common, I'm scared to say it. I want to say Luis, because I don't want to incur his wrath. Vegeta, what you doing? You got 14 here, I think. Am I wrong? No, you have 14. 14 against the 5. Most people would say to stay. I'm excited. After this hand, I get to go. He said to hit. Okay, hit for the kitty in the box. 22. And it would have, well, you would have lost anyway. It would have been 17. But listen, that's a good lesson. Don't gamble irresponsibly, right? All right, now we will play, what are we going to play? This is going to be a slow-moving game. But we'll play 2-5 no limit with $200 each. Daniel, you still there? Just want to confirm that you're still there and you're ready to go. You versus me. Mano y mano, I think. Haha, it's Luis, like your buddy. Thank you. Hey, you're welcome. That's pretty funny. Nice game, man. Thank you. You're welcome. It's pretty funny. All right, here we go. I did a little third of the bottom of the deck up top. It's an extra little shuffle, right? Lots of extra shuffling going on. I just want it to be nice and random. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're playing 2-5. I guess that means I should give you some $1 chips. and give myself some as well. Oh, put it over here. All right. So 2 on the button, and this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to show you your hand and then not look at the screen. So actually what I have to do is I have to cover up the part of the screen. So, all right, I'm not going to lie. This is going to seem a little unfair because you have to trust me that I can't see your hand. But let's do it. All right, so I'm the big blind, you're the small blind. So I deal to myself first, you second. But you go first, so here's your hand. I hope you had a chance to see it. I'm trying to only look at the comments. And there we go. All right, so I've got that part of the screen covered. So you're first, Daniel, what are you doing? We're playing poker against each other. By the way, I'm not looking at my hand until it's my turn, okay? So I need to know what you do. I'm gonna get these black chips out of the way. These are my chips, these are your chips, and that's all there is to it. And you guys can give him whatever advice you want to give him. Shoetown says, I mean, this is literally just for fun, right? No reason for you to try and cheat this, so we should be fine. I do appreciate that comment. It's totally just for fun. This is not for real money or anything like that. And you guys, I hope it went through. I can't verify that you can see it because then I would be doing that. Well, you can't check. So you're the small blind. You're in for $2. I'm the big blind. I'm in for $5. The player on the button and heads up goes first. So, right. David said it correctly. You either fold, call 5, or raise. Then you're in for $2 so far. So I'll give you another chance there. By the way, I do really enjoy playing heads up. Call, of course. Well, I can't see your hand, so it's not of course to me. Okay. So now I'm going to look at what I have, and with this hand right here, now keep in mind I'm the dealer, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make it 15. And so now, call, of course, that was a joke. Totally. I like that joke. Oh, these are not my chips, so I'm going to get them out of the way. I'm just used to playing with chips, but I will shuffle my chips over here. And yes, I have now raised to 15, and I tried to display it very clearly on the table. And what you gonna do? Let's see. Should you be tipping your dealer even when you're losing? It's a very interesting question. So as a poker player, there is a unwritten rule that when you win a hand, you're supposed to tip the dealer. At the end of the day, tipping is 100% the decision of the person. He says call 15. It is 100% the decision of the person who is playing. I do tip even when I'm down. That's just me personally. That's how I like to think about it. So I am betting 15 here. And remember, you can only bet in increments of $5 and 2-5. So now it's on you. I went first on the flop. The flop, just in case you can't see it, Ace of Hearts, 4 of Spades, 6 of Spades. And David says, it's acceptable if you're losing not to tip. Totally true. That being said, wait, I shouldn't have bet 15. Was this, you said call 15. Is that from last time or this time? No, I think this is the first time. Right, yeah. So, Daniel, still waiting. I'm waiting on you to tell me what you're doing. I bet 15 on the flop. And you are last to act, and you get to decide what to do. Luis says all in. David says, LOL, Luis. And Daniel says, I will call 15. All right, so there's 15. And I'm trying to be very clear for the cameras, you guys, what it is that we got going on here. So now, let's see. You called the original. What do I do in this situation? I have a decision to make that I'm going to think through very carefully. I am going to check. So I check. And now, Daniel, it's on you. Super curious what you're going to do. Vegeta says BRB. Shootdown says flop, call 15. Interesting. We've got a lot of agreement from a lot of people here. What kind of hands does somebody call 15 with on the flop? I gotta say, I'm super curious. And we'll see what happens here. Daniel says, check, clap, clap. All right, so we checked. So now we go to the river. That's interesting. So I go first again, and what am I going to do? So you call the raise pre-flop. Man. I'm going to say I check. I thought about betting, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to check. So it's on you, Mr. Daniel. I feel very curious here. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. I want this to go faster somehow. I think it'd be really interesting if it was going faster. But that's okay, guys. Feel free to ask questions as we go too. Totally fine. Checks. All right, showdown. So I'll show down first. I have queens and jacks with an ace. Would you like to show or muck? I am not going to force you to show. That is up to you. Show or muck. I guess, you know what? Everybody already knows what your hand is, so I am going to show it. So you have 10-5. So it looks like I win in this case. And, all right. Now, I get the dealer button, and we deal another hand. I know you said muck, but it dawned on me that everybody knows what the cards are, so you're not hiding anything from anyone. So, no, I'll switch cut cards. It's good luck for you if I switch cut cards. So you're the big blind, I'm the small blind, and I deal like this. So I'm going to go first. Actually, I'll show you your cards right now. No, I'll go first. I'm folding. So, here. You had ace-5, I had deuce-6. You get my $2, and I'm going to do it again. And now you're going to go first. Gonna tip yourself? Nah. Pretty funny though. Alright, so here we go. And we go like this. And hold on, I can see it right now, so I don't want that to be possible. And now I can't see it, so I'm showing you your cards. I hope that they're clear enough is all I can say. Maybe I could show it here too, make it easy. All right, so you're first, and what you gonna do? I'm gonna tip yourself. You know what? I will tip myself. Thank you. Raven, you still there for when you're up next? Let's see, all right, I'm gonna look at my hand now because I assume that. What do I got? What do I got? All right, I know what I got. You said call. I'm good with a check here, no problem at all. All right, we bring that flop, and I check. So I check. It's on you, sir. Dave says, really? Hey, Dave. Yes, the answer is really. Yeah. Oh, good. Raven is there and ready to go. Absolutely. Not a problem. Yeah, I figured I'd play heads up against someone in the audience. Now, I would much rather do it with video chat. Daniel says he bets 20. I'm going to fold. I had a jack 3. Because everyone can see your hand, I am going to expose it. You had a pair of kings. That is a very nice win. And now we go over here. I also think this is cool because it lets people kind of see how I'm dealing heads up, which I don't do very often, right? So now here we go. I'm going to shuffle it up with Daniel. Oh, I see. Bet 20. I thought you had just jumped on and you were saying, really? Because we're playing heads up. All right. This is a raise to 15 for me. So you're in for 5, and here is your hand. And what do you do is the question. What do you do? And I cannot see it, but you can see it. And if you're just joining, this is not for real money. I think after this hand, we're going to give Raven a shot to take over. So this will be your last hand, Daniel, just so I can give other people a chance. And Dave, since you're the only member, the True Poker Dealer member that I have, if you want to jump in and play against me after Raven, we could do a video chat so it's a little quicker, which would be fine. Raven says call. All right, here we go. So we're going to the flop. I'm sorry. Wait, Raven said call. I wanted to know what Daniel did. I got the wrong person. Okay, so you did say call also. That works out. So let me just make sure. I just did. Raven says call, but Raven's not the one playing yet. He plays the next one. Daniel said I will call you that one. All right, cool. So we can continue. Luis says Mark's got pocket rockets. So you're first to act. The flop is 5 of hearts, 9 of clubs, king of diamonds. And I do want to remind everybody that in 45 minutes, I do start my live lesson number 14, where I teach you guys. It's a free lesson while it's live, and then it goes to the paid section. But I teach you guys the limit rules of Texas Hold'em that I haven't touched on yet. Daniel, it's on you first. What you doing? Check or bet, sir? Dave says sure. Oh, Dave says call, yes, but I think you mean the other type of call. Let's see. So, what you gonna do? Yeah, this is a cool experiment right now, right? Like, I know it's going very, very slowly, but I mean, so what, right? Like, I'm trying something out by playing poker against the audience. That's pretty cool. He checks. I am not going to check. I'm going to bet 20. And I'm going to turn this off. So I bet 20. So now I'm not supposed to tell you this because it's supposed to be 1 player per hand, but just in case you can't see, there's $30 in the pot. It's a $20 bet, and it's your decision now. What you gonna do in your last hand versus me? And I will reveal the hands one way or another. I'm not going to be a jerk like that. So yeah, what you gonna do? How long does the lesson stay on the site before it goes to the other site? I'm going to miss the session, and I would like to see it. I mentioned this earlier. I appreciate that question. I had been intending on leaving everything there for a week, each lesson, and then moving it over. But what I decided was Monday is the last lesson of the full course. After Monday, I'm going to wait 1 week and move all of them over together. So you'll have a week from Monday. Anybody that gets the $4.99 membership, which you can get by using a computer on my YouTube channel and clicking the join button and getting the membership, you'll have access to all the lessons for how to deal poker. That lasts until a week from Monday, and then I'll move everything over to the permanent location. It says call. All right. Calls. Here we go. We're going to the turn, everybody. 6 of clubs. You're first. So I'm gonna do my poker stare down. What you got? Dave said I thought it was for a week. Great. Yeah, the thing that I tried to do was under promise, over deliver. So I feel myself wanting to do that. I feel like it's the right thing to do, to give it a little bit longer. I was trying to find them this morning and I couldn't. Oh, they're there. You have to go to the community tab on my YouTube channel as a member. Community tab. If here, I can do this actually. I will show you where it is. Give me one moment. So this is going to be showing it from my perspective, but let's see. Daniel says all in. So he's all in for 100 and this $2 doesn't play, so he's all in for 140. And now I have to think about it. I cannot call this, so I will fold. I have a queen 10, and now you win the pot. And there you go. And you had a jack 10. No! I admire your all in. Super funny. That hand, and you gave Raven a nice little stack to work with. So, darn it. I had you. Let's see what the river would have been. An 8. Oh well. Let's see. So now, Luis said gasp. Let's see. Yeah. The thing I want to do is play with the chips and pause. Attaboy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this hand going, and then I want to actually show you on the screen where it is. So let's see. We got 5 and 2. And I get the first card, and Raven, it's your turn now. Daniel, I enjoyed playing with you very much, even though you beat me at the end. Raven, it's your turn, and you're first. You're in for 2, and it's 5 to call. And while we are doing this, I do want to go to the True Poker Dealer channel. I'm not famous enough to just type in True and have it bring you right there. But I can type in True P. Let's see. All right, so I'm on the True Poker Dealer channel, and here, I'll show you guys this. Let me see if this will work. Will this work? No. Let's go like this. Live streaming YouTube. Okay. So what do I got? No, that was the wrong one. Oh, I get it. All right, so I have to adjust it. Just bear with me for one sec, guys. I'm sorry. True Poker Dealer YouTube. I really do want to show this. I think it's important for everyone to see. Let's see. Right here. Right here is the community channel, right? So right here, community. So if you're a member, this is where you get access to everything. I have it all in the posts. So you can find it down here. You've got all the lessons, and even the old content if you scroll down. And YouTube is working on making this smoother, but you can see it says members only for this stuff. So this is the type of stuff you see in there. I've also got some old videos that I put up where people can access a whole bunch of stuff. So this is the bank maintenance and all that stuff that we talked about as well. So there's a lot of good content in this group for $4.99. A lot of these are leaving. The lessons are leaving, but I did want you guys to see all that. So I hope that helped. Now I have to jump back and see what the decision was. Wait a minute. Oh no, did I lose everyone? Oh no, here it is. I got scared. I didn't realize I had another window with a live stream, and it all just disappeared. All right, so what did I miss? Listen for what I was trying to all in the table question. Gas, play with the chips and pause. Attaboy. Thank you very much, sir. Take your tip. Call. Thank you for the tip, Daniel. Call Raven Toe Clown. I know, right? Dave, great. If you haven't watched his old stuff, highly recommend. It's very kind to you. So you said call, and I will look at my hand now. This hand. What do I want to do here? I'm going to raise to 15. So I made it 15, and you can tell I'm a fish because I did that with a queen 10 last hand, right? And maybe I'm just trying to get you to be a sucker, or maybe maybe I am a fish, and it's just hard to tell, right? But let's see, Raven, what you gonna do, huh? Luis says, I have a question regarding limit versus no limit bankroll. If the blinds are 2-4, what would the minimum amount you sit down on a limit versus no limit be? That is a great question. I am going to go over that in the limit. So I'm doing, I'm literally doing this later today. Let me see. But in 2-4 limit, a lot of the time the minimum buy-in is 20. Some places say 40. And in limit, there's no maximum. Let's see. Raven says fold. All right, so let's expose it. Ace, you folded an ace heads up against me? I already told you that I'm a fish. I have a 9-8 of clubs. Now, you don't ever do this as a dealer in poker, but let's just see what would have happened, right? Because it's fun. And you know what? You were right to fold because I would have bet the flop and you would have lost extra money. So, hey, I'm impressed. This is why it's easier to be the raiser in poker. Let's see. All right, I'm going to keep shuffling. All right, next hand. And let's see. So I'm the small blind, you're the big blind, and you go like this. And I'm first. Guess what? I raise. I'm putting the pressure on, Raven. It is what it is. All right, now I got to cover up my screen so I can't see you. And what you gonna do? You're in for 5, and I just made it 15. And you saw what I did it with last time. Oh, it's hard to play poker. Let's see. I thought of getting a... Shadu says, thought of getting Nevada Jack set with a case, but a bit expensive. Yeah, I get that. Some of those chip sets are nice. I haven't ever used those. I almost want to have a chip consultant and a card consultant. Actually, no. Cards I feel good about. But chips for home games, I know a lot about casino chips. I don't know as much about what they sell to the public still. That would be cool. Fold again. All right, let's see. Jack 8, that's respectable. I had an ace, so I decided to do it. And just for the fun of it, let's see what would have been. That would have been a tough flop for you. But you probably would have stayed in, and look at that turn. You would have had the nuts. Nuts. And listen, I'm not supposed to do that to you, but you're only playing 3 hands, so I figure might as well, right? All right, now I'm the big blind, you're the small blind, so you'll be going first. We're having some fun here, and 30 minutes away from the next lesson. All right, so I'm gonna just do this, and then I'll give you your cards, and I gotta cover the screen again, and I can't see, and here you go, you're first. You're in for 2. This is the last hand, Raven, last hand against me. These are your cards, and let's see. By the way, there's nothing wrong with your fold. It just worked out that you got the straight, right? So I'm not going to say there's any issue with that at all. But I am curious what you're going to do this time. Let's see. ACM says, hi, Mark. I'm late. Okay. Well, no, you're early. This is the AMA. It started at 2, and I usually only do this for an hour, but we're kind of having fun here, so... Raven said call. All Raven, I know that it seems unfair, but I have just raised again to 15. He said you call and you put a robot emoji. I love your emojis. Thank you for continuing to bust out emojis with good spirits all the time. So now I'm waiting on you again. I raised to 15 one more time. Put that pressure on. Put it on. I like this little technique. I think what I'll say is any member gets priority moving forward for playing against me, and I would set it up so that they send. He said fold, and he did the sad face. Oh yeah, you gotta fold that. And we'll check it out again just because it's fun. Oh, 9 right on the flop. But I don't blame you for that at all. I think you made the right decision. But luck would have had it against me. This is a tough thing about poker, right? I mean, for sure. Now, we've played all these hands, and let's see who ended up winning. So we each started with 200, and I have 203, and you guys have 197. Alexandru Nekula says, hi. Hey, what's going on? I am probably going to jump off in a few minutes. Dave, did you say you wanted to play a few hands against me? If you do, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, I think I want to have members be the ones to play moving forward. Although I will say, like Raven, you have been really helpful. Leandro says, "Who's got next?" I know. I'm gonna leave it up to Dave. If he wants to play, I'll play with him because I can get him quicker offline. ACM says heads up can be mostly about luck. I like the idea of it being members. I mean, it's $4.99, and then you get to have some fun with me. But also, just so you guys know, Dave has been a member of my True Poker Dealer membership for quite a while, and as a result of it, he's got, I've got his phone number, and so it would be easy to do that. Yes, ACM, you just never know. Sure. Okay, Dave, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to... let me see. I will call you on FaceTime. I'm sorry, on Facebook, okay? So, let's see. And I'm going to do it this way so that I can get your audio in here, and also I can show you your whole cards, which is really what I'm looking to do. So you can take over this stack over here, and we'll be able to play a few more hands, and then in about 15 minutes I'll stop. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. All
right, so I'm going to have to not really look at your screen because I can see like the projection of what I show you. So I'm going to show you your cards as we go, and you can understand that. Wait, who was just the dealer? That was over here, right? So it's my deal right now, and wait, I don't remember how I shuffled, so I'm going to shuffle now. But I've got Dave here, and we're going to do as many hands as we can do in about 10-15 minutes, and I'll have to get to the comments at times too, all right?
Good.
All right, so you can see, you're going to see it on the computer after the fact, all right? So I'm first, and I'm going to raise to 15.
I think I need to mute myself because I'm getting feedback.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Well, you do need to tell me what your action is, though, when it's your turn. So these are your cards. I've raised to 15. It's heads up. You're in for 5 on the big blind.
Okay, show it to me again. I didn't see it. I was trying to... Oh, I fold.
Oh, you fold?
Yeah.
All right. So he folds his 8-5, and I've got a 10-7 suited. And I'm just going to do the rabbit hunt thing because it's a fun little tradition here. You never get to do this in a casino. And you guys have seen what the hand was. So now we go to the next one. And now you're going to be first. You're in for 2. And I'm going to be the big blind. Have you dealt any heads up in any of the charity events that you've dealt?
No, I never got that far. They would, they had some favorites that they like to use, and so they were dealing like the last table. So I got in pretty close, but no, I haven't done a heads up. No.
These are yours.
Okay, I'll call.
You call?
Yeah.
All right. Calls 5. And I'll have to check the comments in a second. I'm gonna check in this one. And so here we go. And I'm going to have to show you the flop over here. How do I do this? Yeah, I'll do it like
I can just go ahead and put the other one on. I just get feedback when I do that. So let me go ahead and start the other one up.
I kind of have to do it this way because it's on a delay on the other one.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, well, they do that. They're actually smart. It protects against buffering. Raven says, thanks,
sure.
Mark. Was fun. I appreciate you doing that. It was really cool you to do that. Dave, you said over there in the comments, though you need a break. I sort of do, yeah. Raven says, good to test this out. So, let's see. Yeah, there would have to be a different way to do it. Oh, I do know how to do it moving forward, but yeah, it's tougher.
How do I see the flop?
You do see the flop, you said? Or you said how?
I have not seen the flop, no.
All right. I'm going to bet 5. I'm showing you the flop right here, okay?
Oh. I think I'm going to fold.
All right. So you fold 5 deuce, and I had 2 pair, flop 2 pair, but so it goes. Oh wait, we gotta do the rest just to keep tradition, right? Oh, I had a full house. Yeah, that was a good fold, for sure, to say the least, right?
I had a weak chance at a flush, but I was gonna be drawing dead.
Right. What you do the box, is there a secret that the cards don't slip when you do the box? All right, instead of dealing this hand, I just want to answer that. So we get riffle, and then this is the box. So what I do is, and I do teach this in the shuffle video, I just take it and put it down. All right, I'm literally taking it and putting it down. If the cards are slipping on each other, which you see them move a little bit sometimes, that's happening because the cards are just like staticky and brand new, and after you use them a little bit, it will go away and get better. Were you just the button, or was I the button? I'm trying to remember. I think that I went first, right? So now you're the button. Do you remember?
Yeah, because I called the second one. So
right.
This will be number 3.
So now I'll go first. Here we go. And I'm looking at my cards first, and I'm going to raise to 15 like I always do. And you're in for 5, and here is your cards.
Fold.
Folds a 9-6 offsuit. I had an 8 deuce suited. Heads up is a little bit different, and it's okay to do stuff like that. Although I did outflop you, and I would have won with a full house, king's full.
Wow.
Yep. It's pretty crazy. All right, because it's going a little quick, I can deal one more hand right now. Guys, can you tell me if this is interesting at all to watch this way, or do you like it better the slower way where you kind of get to decide with the player? I'm curious what you guys think of this format versus the other format, because I'm trying to learn right now too, right? We're having fun and we're also kind of learning. All right, so you're first, you're in for 2, and here's your hand.
Oh, I'll call.
Calls, all right. Why not, right?
Why not?
And I'm going to take a look at my hand, and I'm going to check and go to the flop. All right, and I check. I went first. I check. And
show me the cards.
Should I show you the flop? Does that make more sense? Can you see it?
I'll bet 5.
Bets 5. You know what? I'll call 5. So you bet 5. I'll call 5. I can handle that. And do you remember the flop? Because that's the turn.
I'll bet 20.
20. All right. So I have a pair that I'm going to fold now, and I'll give you the pot. And I'll say congratulations. And now we see you had a pair of 10s. Oh, that was, yeah, okay, I see. The river was a king, so you would have won anyway. I had 5-6 for a pair of 6s. Cool. Well, thank you for jumping in, and that's been very enjoyable. And I'm going to jump back off and wrap up with everyone over here, and I will be doing limit, the lesson number 14 at 4 o'clock, so 1 o'clock your time.
Yeah, and I'll pick it up later on because I've got something I have to do. So I'll look forward to looking at your library of videos. Thanks for the point out there, Mark. And
absolutely.
I'll talk to you later.
Absolutely, and thank you for just jumping in and being a part of this experiment as always. I appreciate it.
Sure, fun. Glad to catch up again.
Yeah, yep, same. Take it easy.
Take care.
Well, that was interesting. Let's see. And so the comments, now I got to catch up on. Good to test this out when you do the box. All right, we said that. ACM, yes, but plastic ones slip. They do. These are plastic too, though. I said, okay. Luis says both. Got it. Both were good. And she says it is. Honestly, I forget what it was I was saying back then. But yeah, this has been cool. And yeah, so I do have a way using Zoom to allow someone to play against me in real time. I do videos like that already that I live stream with a Poker Pro. But yeah, it's interesting. So a YouTube account called Fake Account asked the question, pair AJ versus pair King Queen, who wins? So saying pair Ace Jack versus pair King Queen is a little bit confusing. So I'm gonna say I need a little bit more info in order to be able to answer that, because if you're asking me which hand is supposed to win in the long term, then the Ace Jack is favored before we see the flop. Shadu says, try this one for poker terms. It is a good one. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, but sure. Oh, YouTube. I miss you guys streaming. Now, I will say this. I'm about to do this lesson in 20 minutes. I'm going to start it. I'll be here. The weather outside in South Florida is terrible, and as some of you know, I lose power occasionally because of it, and there's not a lot I can do about that. That's not a pair, right? Yeah, so I was a little bit confused as well. But I do lose power, and if I do lose power during this live stream upcoming, I will be back to finish it as soon as I can. The last couple times it's only taken a few minutes, but boy, is it looking scary outside, and it's raining pretty hard, so we'll see. Sorry, sir, it has a list of terms related to poker. So I'm guessing that you included a link, and YouTube I don't think allows links into the chat. So if you did include a link, YouTube has censored it and we can't see the link. Just a point of interest. Anyone that's ever put a link in the chat on YouTube, it's always been censored from what I know. But it says like J5 is called Jackson 5 totally. Full barn means full house 2, etc. Yeah, I'm guessing you put a link there and I can't see it. Cool, see you in a bit. Upside down face. Good luck. Oh, let's see what the final stacks were. Just for fun. So it was 190, so 175, 85, 92. And I had, which we should be able to figure this out, but we're doing it like this, 208. I'm undefeated except against Daniel. Shadu said, sorry for that. Well, you don't have to apologize. I just wanted to explain why I was talking crazy and seemed to not know what you were talking about. It's because the links don't go through. You don't get in trouble for it. I just don't see them. So that makes sense. But I appreciate you guys for the last hour and 40 minutes. I am going to jump off now so that I can get some water and get ready for my live stream coming up. And then we're going to talk about Limit Texas Hold'em. I will go over the things that I have not covered previously. This is lesson number 14. That is a part of the Immortal course on how to deal poker. And you guys were there. So thank you guys so much. Real quick, Julian, so you do lessons on Zoom? So I mean, look, I am happy to do one-on-one stuff on Zoom. My hourly rate's pretty high. And I've done plenty of it over the years for coaching. The thing that I was referring to is I do a weekly live stream in a paid Facebook group with a Poker Pro. His name is Michael Lockey. He's cashed for over $1 million in his career, and the business is called livepokercoaching.com. And so he and I simulate out 2-5 cash games Wednesday mornings in the group, and we're actually working on cutting that up and turning it into YouTube content. But the way that we do it is we use Zoom and OBS, and we have a nice little setup where he's able to see everything in real time, and so he and I can kind of do our back and forth, and it's not delayed, and it's pretty nice, and I think it would work for this as well. I would just have to be prepared for it a bit, but I think it would be fine. But anyway, that'll be for the future. Maybe we'll give it a shot next AMA with somebody. We'll see, right? There's some cool stuff I can think of, but you guys are awesome, and I'll be back in 15 minutes for a different live stream, which is lesson number 14 on how to deal. See you guys later.